Very famous question, first posed to Americans in October of 1980 by the great President Ronald Reagan. And here is the most important question, ladies and gentlemen. Are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? Can I hear a loud answer, please?
No.
No. The answer is no. And now we have another individual who does not deal in reality, because he deals in the empty, destructive promise of socialism. Well, I've got news for you. We're Americans. I'm a proud first-generation American. Our parents, our grandparents, and in some cases, us. We did not come to America to embrace socialism, Marxism, communism, anti-Semitism. We reject all isms except one. American exceptionalism, ladies and gentlemen, because we are in the greatest country in the world. So I ask you this. There is a definition of the word insanity. It is doing the same thing over and over and over again, but expecting a different outcome. The choice is clear. The choice is definite. We must say no to all of these people who have proven one thing: their failure and inability to govern our state and our city. We must reject their empty promises. We must reject the destruction of our city, because New York is the capital of the world, and it is the home of our families, it is the home of our children, it is the home of our grandchildren. We say no to this madness. We say no to the city of yes. But there is one thing we say a very, very big yes to. And I now have the honor of introducing my friend of over 20 years, and a man I stand 100% behind. He will win. And anyone who doesn't think so, anyone who doesn't vote for Courtis Sliwa, is taking their vote and giving it to the destruction of New York City. If you believe in hope, if you believe in greatness, if you believe in democracy, grab your family, grab your friends, and do not let anyone tell you it's not possible, because I know it is. Please welcome my endorsed candidate, my friend, and the next mayor of the city of New York, Courtis Sliwa.
But today, I'm not going to have to scream at my fellow Republicans like I've had to do the last 3 evenings. Shame on Republicans. They have no self-esteem. They would actually like to continue to recycle Democrats who put us in this miserable situation. When Rusat asked, how many of you knew Zoran Mandavi 4 months ago? You were the only person to raise your hand. Why do we know Zoran Mandavi? Normally, if you're a mayor, even the worst mayor, de Blasio, you end up running for re-election on the Democratic line, didn't he? Against Nicole Malliotakis, the great congresswoman. Eric Adams couldn't even win his own Democratic Party nomination. And he knew it. He was going to get trounced. He was going to be humiliated. Didn't even try. He was given an opportunity to run against me in the Republican primary. The White House said, Eric, we can get you into the primary, which they could. They would go to Richie. They would go to 2 other county chair people, all of whom supported me. But let's face it, if the president were to call and say, I want you to give him a Wilson McCullough, I want him to run against Courtis in the Republican primary. That's legal. It's been done before. Well, they put out a poll amongst Republicans, and the poll came back 72% to 24, some undecided, that Republicans chose Courtis Sliwa. So what do you think Eric Adams said? I don't want to go through that humiliation. So now he's an independent. Andrew Cuomo had his chance to stop Zoran Mandavi. He failed miserably. He mailed it in. And now Republicans would actually want to consider giving the keys back to the city to the very people who destroyed it to begin with. De Blasio, Cuomo, Adams. So that Zoran could get his chance to destroy the city that we love. Where's your pride?
Yes.
Hey, are you proud to be Republicans? Are you? I don't get a sense of that in the city. You know what I get a sense of? Courtis, you can win. You know where? In Zoran Mandavi neighborhoods where I spend my time. Getting millennials, getting Gen Zs. Why? Because they study the numbers. Why is it that the socialists are telling me that? Why is it the moderate Democrats are telling me that? But some of our own Republicans are so used to losing. So used to thinking, oh, we can't win a citywide election. We can't win a statewide election. Well, thoughts are things, and the Democrats know that. They haven't had to sow the seeds of doubt within our Republicans because too many of our fellow Republicans do that on a regular basis. So let me be the voice of reality. There have been 4 polls since the primary results, 4 polls. Eric Adams has finished dead last in each one of them, including the one he paid for. What does that tell you about a sitting mayor who's on TV 24 hours a day, doing every podcast, giving money out now that he didn't give out before, and continuing to destroy this city? As was mentioned in the preview, he had a chance to give money to our veterans in the budget. He gave them $4 million. He ended up giving the illegal aliens an additional $55 million. I don't want to hear about, oh, I was the Biden of Brooklyn and now I'm MAGA man because the president kept me out of jail where he belonged for stealing $10 million in short notice. I don't want to hear that nonsense. But I am upset most with our fellow Republicans. When I did the analytics of these polls, you know which vote I win the most of? The independents. The independents vote for me more than they vote for Mandavi, for Cuomo, for Adams. That's why I'm in 3rd place. If I had to depend on our fellow Republicans, forget about it. They're all over the place. So it's time we come home, Republicans, to Republican values. The values that kept this city strong and saved it when Rudy was elected 8 years. The best mayor we ever had was a Republican. Followed by Bloomberg, 12 years, a Republican. With 12 years overseeing it, a Pataki, a Republican. The moment we went back to the Democratic trail of the 3 amigos, de Blasio, Cuomo, Adams. Total chaos, total corruption. Why the hell would any of you want to go that way? If that's the case, move out now. I'll be your moving guy. I'll pack you up, move you to Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Tennessee. Because if you want to improve and not move, if you want to fight for what's right, you're going to vote for the Republican candidate to become the next mayor of the city of New York, like independents are. I mean, think about that. There are double the number of independents than there are registered Republicans. You know that, Chairman. And they're the growing number of voters. They choose me overwhelmingly. What do they know that our fellow Republicans don't want to recognize? I'll tell you what they know is that they're free agents and they're going to pick the best person for the job because they are not weighed down by party affiliation. Isn't that refreshing? What Republican can ever say that they won the independent vote? None. None. So now it's time we call the Republicans back. All this Ubats, Meshuggah, thinking, oh, we're going to anoint Cuomo, he's going to save us, we're going to anoint Adams. Well, let me tell you something. I'm out in all the neighborhoods, as was mentioned. I was in Harlem earlier, Washington Heights, came here to Brooklyn, we'll be back in the subways and in the projects. We talk about Mandavi wants to let everybody ride the bus for free, right? That's bad, right? Half the people ride the bus for free now. What are you talking about? Oh my God, he's gonna let all the people ride it. Half the people don't pay their fare. We can't blame him for that. There's no enforcement. There's no enforcement. Who's in charge? Eric Adams. Who was in charge as governor? Andrew Cuomo. Did they have any enforcement? No. Well, he's going to freeze the rent. And de Blasio did that twice before. It's like, oh, this can't, oh, it's been done before. That's the one thing he can do. He appoints 9 people to the Rent Stabilization Board. They are all his appointees. So when he says he gets elected, he's going to freeze the rent, he can do it. Everything else he can't do, but he can do that. And the rent is too high to pay. You got to realize that. The cost of living in New York City is astronomical. Some of you are business people. Your electricity rates, the sewage, the water, the property tax, the fees, the fines, the speed cameras, the red light cameras. You gotta buy your own garbage can. You can't buy your own can. It's one big tax. That's gonna end when I'm the mayor. Because I feel your pain. I'm the guy that's out there with you. Let's take a look. Where was Mandavi? Oh, he partnered up with his billionaire friend George Soros and his son. Where was Eric Adams? State Senator Steve Chan, you were very eloquent in pointing out the death of those 2 elderly Chinese underneath the BQE as they were just walking in the streets, and this madman that I believe is an illegal alien, I may be wrong, drunk from Staten Island, just plowed them over. Well, Steve, the mayor couldn't be there because he was too busy in Florida with more billionaires and doing a freaking podcast and with young Republicans in Fort Lauderdale. Hey, are you running for mayor of New York City? Are you the mayor of New York City? Or would you prefer to be like a lot of other New Yorkers living in Florida? Because if you want to live in Florida, I can guarantee you he will be a one-term mayor and he can move to Florida. In Florida. Before that, last weekend, I was in Coney Island. Where was he? Out with Cuomo in the same building with billionaires. I'm not the candidate of the billionaires and millionaires. I'm the candidate of the blue-collar working class. That's where I come from. I will not turn my back on them. No billionaire, no millionaire is going to choose the next mayor. Boy, they did a great job with Cuomo, right? Huh? They did a great job. Hey, where's Bloomberg now, huh? Bloomberg gave $11 million. You don't hear anything from Bloomberg because these fake, phony frauds are all backdoor. While you're complaining about Mandavi, they're cutting deals with him. Did you know that? Did you know they're meeting with him? That's why they call them hedge funds.
You're right.
They're hedging their bet. Tish, great police commissioner, had to clean up the mess created by Eric Adams, right? Jessica Tish. Her family is meeting with Mandavi. They're billionaires. And she's not saying, I'll leave. If you elect him, I leave. Hey, that's the only good thing that Eric Adams has going for him. She's hedging her bet. Don't be lured in by these billionaires and millionaires. They don't represent you. And I'm going to tell you why. This week, how many of you are going to join me in Staten Island as we intend to repeal legally the city of Yes that will destroy residential neighborhoods?
Right here.
You should all be there if you can.
Right here.
Fighting for the city of Yes is clearly Eric Adams because he has been wine-dined and pocket-lined by the developers and the realtors, all of whom are in Manhattan. Andrew Cuomo's on board. And guess who filed a friend of the court brief late last week to support the guys who supposedly hate him and he hates them? Zoran Mandavi. Are you aware of that? The three of them are going to have their advocates in court arguing against us. I'm the only candidate who says on day one when I become mayor, I'm going to repeal the city of yes. None of the others. None of the others. Now, the city of yes destroys your neighborhoods. It gives the city the right to come in. No more zoning. I don't have to go to the local city council person. I don't have to go to the community board. I want to put up a 40-story monstrosity apartment building. I take your land, I seize it, and there is not going to be any parking for them. And a whole host of other problems. Wake up. You fear Zoran Mandavi? You should fear the Democrats, the other two who are running, because they're all in cahoots on this. We must stop them. The lithium-ion battery warehouses, how many of you are terrified of them, huh? Some of you are living with them right in your back door. You're terrified, right? Do you know who supports the lithium-ion battery warehouses? They're putting 38 in Staten Island, 12 in Brooklyn, 8 in Queens, and 4 in the Bronx, and they continue to pop up. You know who's supporting it? Eric Adams, he says it's safe. Andrew Cuomo and Zoran Mandavi. Because if the billionaires support you, who's making money on that? The billionaires. How many of you have homes in the Hamptons? Can you raise your hand? Wow. Well, you know, it's almost like you're not a person of consequence. Oh, I'm in the Hamptons. We're not Hampton people. We're blue-collar working class. We're Brooklyn strong. We're Brooklyn strong. I'm a Brooklyn boy. I was born in Brooklyn. I'll die in Brooklyn. I'm going to fight for the values of working class people, for the small homeowners, for the small business people who are getting screwed. We can't get rid of tenants. What the hell have any of them done for you with squatter tenants who live in your building and you got to pay for them for 5, 6, 7 years? Did they feel your pain? And you know who the worst landlord in all of New York City is?
New York City.
That's right, NYC, the city of New York. They have 6,000 empty apartments. How can you have 6,000 empty apartments in NYC if you have a housing crisis? And I don't just accept the analytics. I've been in Cary Gardens, Coney Island homes. I see on floor to floor all the doors with holes in it where there are no occupants. 6,000. Of course they want a housing crisis. Because then the developers and the realtors come in, push you out, and make their money. Well, what have they done for you lately? We know what Zoran's going to do. We know. He says it openly, boldly. And by the way, I'm in the Jewish neighborhoods, and actually they're all bent out of shape. I get it. He's anti-Semitic. He's doubled down. But I said, hey, excuse me. I'm a student of history. The founding father of Israel was Ben-Gurion, right? Prime Minister?
Yeah.
What party was he with? Labor, socialist. Ah. Wait. The Labor Party in Israel was socialist? Yeah, when Rabin was assassinated, executed, he's a member of the Labor Party, the socialist. I've been to Israel 3 times. The biggest complaint I used to get from people is we can't do business here. We can't even send a box to America. We got to fill out 10 forms because we're run by socialists. So let's get real. You can call him a communist, you can call him a socialist, you can call him an anti-Semite. He agrees with you. Check all the boxes. I am. The way you beat Zoran Mandavi is neighborhood issues. He loves it when you do all of this. He loves it. The other thing I have to chastise my fellow Republicans, not so much here, but around the country. They're vile, they're despicable. They're talking about Muslim women being towel heads, men having sex with animals, and they're putting it out there and saying, we're MAGA. You think that's helping?
No.
Do you know there are 1 million Muslims, most of who are even more conservative than any in this room, who are patriotic? You're pushing them towards Zoran Mandavi. And you know why? Because it's an attack on the religion and the culture. Stop. Stop. In the last election for Donald Trump, I went into all the bodegas in the Bronx. And they're not all Dominican anymore. A lot of them are owned by the Yemenites. They were wearing MAGA garb. I walk into those same bodegas now. Courtis, come here, please. Your people, you're forcing us to vote for Zoran. I said, how do you go from voting for Trump, voting for Sliwa, to voting for Zoran? It's that simple. You attack our religion, you attack our culture. We go to the mosque on Friday, our day of prayer, Juma, our special day of prayer, and that's all anybody is talking about. Look at this Charlie Clark. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. You know, I gotta tell you, Republicans nationally are hurting me the most because they are galvanizing support for Zoran Mandavi. They talk about this transcript to get into Columbia. You know, he didn't get into Columbia. He was rejected. By the way, we saw his SAT scores from Wrong-Side School of Science. Good school. I wish I had those SAT scores. He was rejected. Why are we talking about stuff that has nothing to do with our day-to-day lives? I am taking the battle into the neighborhoods to talk about the issues of importance to everybody. Andrew Cuomo said that the #1 issue was anti-Semitism, remember? How did that work out? You know how many anti-Semites are on the right?
Yeah.
Come on, that's the deep dark secret that we don't want to talk about. All the anti-Semites are on the left. Oh, no. Anti-Semitism didn't come up in the first 6 issues, poll after poll. You know what it came up? Affordability, rent's too high to pay, cost of living, crime, quality of life. Over and over, it doesn't matter what neighborhood you go into. So we can keep going down the same road that Cuomo went, and you will be guaranteeing that Zoran Mandavi is hanging the drapes in Gracie Mansion. By the way, he's already being driven around by the cops. Here's the guy who wanted social workers, right? For everybody, no cops, social workers, but he has armed NYPD police officers assigned to him, driving him around in the SUV, not taking the subways. Of course not. The only one who takes the subways is the people's mayor, Courtis Sliwa. I'm the only guy that's been the target of a hit. 5 shots, hollow point bullets, on orders from John Gotti Sr. to John Gotti Jr. and the Gambino crime family. Luckily, they weren't successful. Do you think I should have security? I don't want security. You know what I told the NYPD? Because I'm entitled to it. I'm the only other major candidate running. There's a Democrat and there's me, the Republican. I told them we need cops in the streets. We don't have enough cops. I don't want them protecting me. So understand this. We got real issues in the neighborhoods. And we're micro-targeting each neighborhood because not all of them are the same. When I'm on the debate stage, and I will be on the debate stage starting in September, I'm sorry, even if some of you don't want me there, there's nothing you can do. I'm on the line. If suddenly I were to have a concussion and not know where I was, my name is still on the line. I'm getting matching funds, $3 million on July 15th. I would have to give that all back. What do I tell all of our supporters? Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta step out. For Eric Adams or Andrew Cuomo, I'd rather take a gun and blow my brains out. I'm telling you straight, you know how I talk. I'm not talking like a politician. I'm telling you the truth. I'm out there in the streets. I know how to beat this guy. But we're gonna beat him with Republicans, moderate Democrats, and independents. Eric Adams can't get that. And Andrew Cuomo doesn't even want to try to get that. He's too busy being wine dined and pocket line in the Hamptons. So if you're going to get involved in the campaign, we're going to be specifically micro-targeting the issues that are unique to your zip codes. We've got it defined to the zip code. Are we going to take on Zoran Mandavi, that he's a communist, a socialist, and an anti-Semite? Of course. But people have heard that over and over and over again. Guess what? Hasn't even put a dent in it. Cuomo spent $25 million trying to drill that into people's heads. And again, if you're out in the streets like Courtis Sliwa, You know why that does not resonate. Half the people don't pay the fare who ride the buses already. So, you have a job when you leave here today. You got to rally up Republicans. I got moderate Democrats coming to me. Bob Holden is now in charge of Democrats for Sliwa. I have the people who ran RFK Jr.'s campaign up until the point where he decided to join Team Trump. They want to back me. They want to consolidate behind me. I have independents coming to me from everywhere saying, Courtis, you're the candidate that we identify with. And the only group of people who vacillate are Republicans. And I know what it is. You don't think we can win a citywide election. You don't think we can win a statewide election. Well, let me finish on this. I get 33% of the votes citywide. The last person to get 32 to 33% statewide in the city was George Pataki. That's how he became the governor over a much better Cuomo than Andrew Cuomo. Andrew, I knew your father Mario, you know Mario Cuomo. Pataki beat Mario Cuomo because he got 32, 33% of the vote in New York. So if I do well, whoever the party chooses next year, whether it's Elise Stefanik, who supports me, Mike Lawler, who supports me, whether it's the Nassau County Executive Bruce, who supports me. Isn't this amazing? I got all these Republicans from outside of the state. State GOP Ed Cox. All the county chairmen, the committee people, all of them supporting me. The last time I didn't have that. And we have some Republicans that say, well, maybe we should go with Eric Adams, maybe we should go with Cuomo, maybe we should have a summit in September and sit down in the Hamptons and maybe play musical chairs and who's ever left can run. I'm telling you straight up, I am your candidate. If anybody wanted to challenge me, there was a primary. Eric had his chance and passed. You want to abandon Republican principles? Do me a favor. Lusac, we got some Democratic forms here. You can register new voters up until early voting. We'll be more than happy to register you as an independent or a Democrat. Because you're not Republican. None of those candidates have Republican values. Patriotism. Are any of them talking about patriotism? Are any of them talking about what we got to do for our children in this failed public school system that spends $41 billion to promote an anti-American view towards our own country? Who's the only one going to do that? And who's going to cut that budget in the DOE? There ain't no $41 billion going to be spent. And they're going to do, as we did here today, the Pledge of Allegiance and sing the national anthem. And they're going to learn civics, as we did in public school, as I did in PS 114 until the junior high school. And they're going to learn American history because you pay the taxes and the taxpayers are going to be heard from. So make your choice. Follow the path of self-destructive democratic policies that have led us to Zoran Mandavi and continue to make the same mistake. And I know you'll be leaving. Oh, I know you'll be leaving. But this guy here, improve, don't move. I'm not leaving. I'm not running. Nothing's going to drive me out. I am going to fight for the working class people, for the outer boroughs, because what we need is a man or a woman who represents the outer boroughs, and I'm the man or the woman. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you, Ronnie. I get it. But you didn't get what I gave to the 3 other groups this past week. I gave them fire and brimstone. I am really disappointed. I got more independents and moderate Democrats backing me than in the polls Republican. You can see it in the percentages. That's shameful. Wake up, Republicans. Come back to your party. Come back to your principles. You remind me of those people who were saying, hey, Trump, you can't win. It's DeSantis, it's Haley. Remember that? How many of you were there, huh? And then all of a sudden, oh, I love you, Donald Trump. Oh, yeah, sure. And because all of a sudden, the tides had turned against Donald Trump, and you said, maybe it's time for you to step aside. Maybe it's time for Nikki. Maybe it's time for the new face DeSantis. What happened? Wake up. We're the only hope for New York City, and I'm your candidate. And if you don't choose me, as far as I'm concerned, Zoran, Cuomo, Adams are all cut from the same cloth. Thank you.
All right, nobody leave. We still have a little bit more to go, but let's hear it for Courtis. Come on. Nobody leave. We got a special surprise for Courtis to come out. But before that, Senator Stephen Chan wants to make one announcement.
You know what? Courtis talked about the working guy. He talked about the working class. Well, you know what? Guess what? I want to introduce to you somebody who is not so special. Did I say that right? Not so special? Not so special because she is the working class. She's a teacher. Her husband is a cop. Then he became a fireman. Her name is Athena Clark. Come on up, Athena. She's running for city council right here.
Thank you. So as Senator Chan just mentioned, I am a teacher. I worked for the Department of Education for 7 years. I was tenured. And unfortunately, I was terminated during the mandates. And running for city council is a way to set that right. But I also want to say that thank you to Courtis. I will never forget when we walked over the Brooklyn Bridge, 20,000 of us, teachers, firefighters, police officers, sanitation workers, and he was there. He was standing on the bench, waving the American flag, cheering us on in support of us. And I will never forget that, Courtis. Also, when I voted for Courtis, I was a Democrat. And it was my first time voting Republican, and being of Caribbean descent, we don't typically vote Republican. It's just a cultural thing. I don't understand it, but that is what it is. And I said to my family, there's no way I cannot vote for Courtis Sliwa. He is the only person who's fighting for us, who's standing with us, and who cares about the American people, who cares about city workers, who cares about the working class. So even now, with him running for the second time, we have to stand behind Courtis Sliwa. It's not about our race. It's not even about your political affiliation. You can be a Democrat, you can be a Republican, you can be independent. You can even be a socialist at this point in time. But common sense is common sense. And he's the only person who's willing to fight for us, who's standing with us. Mandavi did an interview and he clearly said that he stands behind the mandates that occurred, and for the next pandemic, which I don't even understand, how is he thinking about another pandemic when you're not supposed to see one in your lifetime? He said that he will stand by the mandates again.
No.
That means that he doesn't want us to have freedom of choice. He doesn't want people to choose for themselves. They want the government to tell us what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. However, reinstate and compensate. However, we are New Yorkers. We are Brooklynites, Queens United, Staten Island, Bronx. We stand strong and we fight. We fight, we fight. We don't let anyone tell us what to do. Whenever I go to another state, the first thing they say is, you're from New York, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, how did you know? And they're like, the way you speak, and you're always in a rush. Well, guess what? We're fighting for our lives right now, and the time is now. This is the biggest fight that we have in New York, and we need Courtis Sliwa. I don't want to hear the Republicans arguing anymore either about whether or not he can win. He can win, he will win, and we will overcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Athena Clark, ladies and gentlemen, running for city council right here at Canarsie, Mill Basin, Marine Park.
Good people, just 5 sentences. I'm in New York politics for more than 20 years. I've been listening to many speeches of many mayor's candidates. If I list all the names now, we wouldn't leave in an hour. You just heard a historical speech. The best speech I ever heard from the mayor's candidate. The best. Because in this speech, Courtis told you everything about candidates, billionaires, different communities, what's going on with NYC. This man knows New York City better than anybody else. And if you're listening to this speech, you now know about New York City and New York City politics more, much more than you knew before Courtis' speech. We need him as the mayor. We need him as the mayor. Don't vote for Courtis. Vote for yourself when you're voting for Courtis, because he's our hope. He's the only hope that we have. God bless you, Courtis. Thank you.